Hello and welcome to another episode of Unplugged. As always, I'm Charlie, and this time we're checking out IndieCade 2016 on the USC campus. I'll be walking around talking to, oh god, these two are here too. Yeah, Dr. Jim and Youngblood Alex is here. Oh god, why did I invite you two? This is going to be the worst thing ever. But yeah, IndieCade, we're checking it out. Lots of independent games, as the name implies. Lots of small devs, stuff you've never heard of. Really excited to be here, and it should be a fun time. Let's go check it out.
All right, well, we just got done playing Disc Jam here. Well, we should probably introduce ourselves.
Yeah, so I'm Jim Ghaznavi. I'm Dr. Jim, as you know. I'm Something Wicked Studios.
And I am the new blood around here, Alex. So this is my second live event, and is this your first or second?
This is my first live event.
Nice, nice. So we just got done playing Disc Jam. We were here at the PlayStation area. Pretty sweet stuff. So first impressions?
Yeah, so I've learned that I have the hand-eye coordination of a retard. Blind one, particularly. Yes, I it was extremely fun, though. It's like, imagine if, what was it? It's like Frisbee and air hockey and lawn tennis were like put into one, amplified, and played in Tron.
Yeah, it had a very Tron feel. I like the Tron feeling quite a bit.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was like table hockey, but with a way bigger like entry instead of that little small spot that everybody guards and you just go like this over and over.
Yeah.
No, it's really, really fun. I did notice there were 4 controllers on there. We didn't get a chance to do 4-player, but we did a one-on-one match. But we can definitely do like a 2v2 thing, which looks pretty sweet.
Yeah.
And it has LAN capabilities, so multiple PlayStation 4s, it looked like. We'd be able to play on that, but yeah, no, it looked pretty fun.
So we just completed the PlayStation VR experience, which in my opinion was pretty awesome.
Yeah.
What
definitely.
game did you play?
I played a game called Zing. It was some sort of like tropical adventure thing. You're like basically following the footsteps of some character, describing her like being trapped there.
Okay.
And she kind of just walking around throwing coconuts and finding like treasure chests and stuff like that. It was really cool.
That sounds a lot more exciting than what I did. I mean, mine wasn't bad, but it was still pretty good. I did a Headmaster where I basically kick or head balls into goals.
Yeah, big headbutting experience pretty much.
Yeah, quite a bit of headbutting. And I mean, for me it was right. It was a fun experience. I would have definitely continued playing it. The only issue I felt like was it wasn't calibrated right. But I guess since I got a better score than the past 2 people, probably they had the same problems. So yeah. But otherwise, it was really fun. Tell me a little bit more about yours, other than throwing coconuts.
So you start off in like this island area, and you pick up a tablet, and you start to narrate.
Yeah.
And as you progress, as you progress through the game, you're kind of just finding and solving puzzles, working your way through it. It's very like explore, puzzle saving, so it definitely pays off to explore.
Okay.
You start off chucking off a couple coconuts here and there, which is kind of funny, and then you put 2 coconuts on a little pillar, and then you unlock a treasure chest, throw that in some sort of magical sinkhole, and it opens up a bigger cavern area, and you kind of just travel. It's really cool. It's definitely an explorer game. I think it's one of those games that really takes advantage of the VR without being over the top.
Okay.
And it really just feels natural in the VR environment versus it being like, oh, here's our game. By the way, it's just in VR now. Ha! So it definitely plays well. I really liked it. I kind of wish I would have seen a little more of it, but it handled pretty easily. It wasn't too bad. I liked it, though.
So we're standing here in front of the Battle Drone banner, and you are the man behind Battle Drones. Tell us about your simulation, not a simulation, video game, drone training, racing tool that's an introduction to the weird and magical world of actual drone racing.
Kind of a juggernaut. Thanks, Charlie, for having me on the show. We're here. This is our first time showing the product to the public, kind of a sneak preview, so to speak. But basically, our goal is to ease people into the sport of drone racing through a game, and that's a twofold thing. One, we've reinvented the controls, and we've created environments that are conducive to game playing, that are going to get people to be able to live fantasies that they can't with a real drone, as well as be awarded for it in a sense of actual accomplishment. And then we have an upgrade path that allows the player to use the real world controls, and that will give us a chance to vet players to actually fly real drones and real drone races. And we have a partner who has a league that's right now being established, and the idea is to pull people from that, sponsor them, equip them, and get them to the qualifying events.
So obviously there's an advantage when you're learning to play the game to use the more gamerly controls. What encourages me aside from, hey, I want to fly an actual drone at some point, to make the switch to the more typical drone, kind of multi-access, thrust, angle, yaw, all that stuff, style of flying a drone in this game?
Well, what we've envisioned and what we've actually crafted here are controls that are based off of the most popular game genre for the consoles is FPS. So people should be able to pick this up pretty quick. As you can see here today, people are, for the most part, are being able to complete the race, maybe even win the race within 10, 15 minutes. Where if you were to have to fly the real world controls, the simulation controls, you're lucky if you could finish the race without crashing within an hour. It's very frustrating, but the reward of that would be is that you could just pick up any racing drone and be very acclimated to it and be competitive. And you didn't have to go through the whole process of, there's a mantra I have, which is fly, crash, fix, repeat. So it's like you could miss that and not have to spend so much money on equipment and be ready to go into it. Even see if you have any aptitude. But in the game, the positive or the upside of learning the real world controls is much more maneuverability. In our controls that we have right now, it's pretty much based on a plane. You can move up and down like this, almost like an airplane flying. But basically, with the real world controls, you could thrust yourself and then loft yourself, cut the thrust, and then now, like turn around and gimbal your drone so you could unleash some ordnance and then take off in a different direction, which is very advantageous in the deathmatch arena that we have, which is not race-based. So
That sounds awesome.
Yes. So it's going to be really fun to see what people end up doing that we never planned. We're finding already people are doing things that we didn't build that into the level.
No, sure, and the game's in very early development here at IndieCade. You're showing off kind of a basic build. Do you have a time frame for when we might be able to see this? Is it coming to PC? Is it coming to consoles? Is it coming to Ouya?
We like the idea because one of the things in the drone racing world is that we've got these guys, and what these do is he feeds you a video signal from a camera that's on the drone, and so we want to mimic that experience one for one, and we call that the FPV, first person view experience. That's something that is going to require VR type headset. So we're looking at Sony PlayStation VR, and then we'll release out to Steam and the other consoles as well.
Sure. No, that's awesome.
The release date. Well, we haven't pinned down the release date because we're still things keep on expanding. So we're really trying to get the scope completely under wraps before we set a date. But expect it in the second half of 2017.
Awesome. Yeah, the early build I played is just incredible for an early build. It's
6 months of work.
Yeah, if you've been looking for kind of a fast, zippy, tight-turning flight game, like this is so many ways the game people have been chasing. It's like, well, it's kind of like what I wanted, but not quite. This is flying a drone, and it's not even really flying a drone. This is arcade flying a drone. I really
appreciate those compliments. It's awesome.
Oh, I really look forward to this when it comes out.
Awesome.
Thank you, man.
So I'm joined here by Bill. He's here with the Dead End Games and played a game called Perception. So tell us a little bit about this game.
Sure. So Perception is a game where you play as Cassie, a blind woman who's been haunted by these visions of a mansion in Gloucester, Massachusetts. And even though Cassie's blind, she can see using echolocation. And so as you explore the mansion trying to figure out what happened there, you have to very carefully weigh how much noise you make because there's something in the mansion hunting you down. If you create too much noise, there's a thing called a presence that'll come and find you. So your way of getting information, your way of seeing in the world is also a great risk to you.
Yeah, so one of the interesting mechanics about this game is that what separates it from all horror games that I've played so far is that it's very sound and visual based in the sense that you're using the sound, the echolocation, to really kind of navigate and get your way around, which is great because it adds this element of like, it's a mansion, but it's just this whole new experience because you're seeing it from the perception of somebody who's just using sound to navigate around. So, give us a little bit. What was the inspiration for this game?
Well, I think you hit the nail on the head there. I think a lot of the inspiration, what drove us to make this, was we really wanted to try and show the world in a different perspective. We wanted to introduce some new mechanics and an interesting aesthetic. And so the idea of playing a horror game where you're a blind woman presented all of these opportunities to show things differently. And it's one of those rare projects where everything kind of connects. You know, you have the aesthetic and the narrative and the mechanics. It all sort of, like, a lot of the questions answer themselves. And so, coming off the BioShock series, where you have to like really fight for every single design decision you make. You know, you talk about every single plasmid or every single vigor that you have. You have to sort of wrestle the idea, the fiction of the power into the world. With Perception, everything kind of gels very nicely. You know, the idea of echolocation and sound being the core mechanic. That really sort of speaks to a lot of the experience and a lot of how we're developing the game. So it's fun to kind of relearn how to build games, because generally speaking, you know, you think about how you present information in a game. You either put people in a cutscene, or you sort of stage light something very carefully and grab the player's camera and that sort of thing. With no real lighting, with just sound, guiding the player through sound and perception, it's a very different experience.
Yeah, definitely. No, like I said, I jumped on it. I caught my curiosity. I jumped on there, and all of a sudden, I was immersed in this really interesting game. And it's great because just the audio and everything is it's so good. And I really liked it because it really stands out above any of the other horror games I've played in the past. So, do you guys have an estimated release date for this?
We're currently saying early 2017, but more accurately, it's when it's ready. You know, we've been working on it for about a year and a half now, and we want to make sure it's special. We have I'm really confident in the story we have, and the mechanics and the aesthetic and the vibe, but that takes time to get that right. And so I've been very coy about dates, but early 2017 is what we're looking at, and we're doing everything we can to make the best game possible.
All right, awesome. So if anybody out there wanted to learn more about your game, where could they go to get some more information and check some more stuff about it?
Sure, you can follow us on Twitter at the Deep End Games, or on our website, www.thedeependgames.com.
All right, awesome. Thanks a lot, man.
Thank you.
So I'm joined right now by Stephanie, the CEO of IndieCade. For those who aren't lucky enough to be here, explain IndieCade to our viewers.
Sure. IndieCade is the International Festival of Independent Games. So what that means is we're like a Cannes or a Sundance for independent games. And those are games of all kinds.
No, I know. Walking around, you've had everything from board games to the silent dance party rave thing to Oculus stuff to more traditional kind of console-driven things. It's been a just amazing variety of things you could see here. This is not your first show, obviously. Is the show grown since last year? I know it's a new location. You moved from over in Culver City to here. Has the new location allowed you to add more stuff or expand some?
Sure. This is our 9th year, actually. We started off up in Seattle, and we got recruited to come down to Culver City, which we loved for many years. Then they started construction, and we really outgrew the space. So we're very grateful to be at USC and the Cinematic Arts campus this year, which has given us room to grow and given us room to grow even more in future years. There's plenty of room here to come and see and play every single game that we have, and we have nearly 200 games of all sorts and genres that we show.
Now, I know on your website you mentioned there's an upcoming Europe show of this. Where's that? Can you tell us something about what you can expect from that location? Because obviously 2016 will be over by the time they're seeing this video, so maybe if you're lucky enough you can catch that one.
Oh, yeah. So this is our very first year we're doing an IndieCade Europe in Paris. We will have a different assortment of games, mostly European and very international, as well as sessions. And it's a smaller show. We're really excited to launch and do something in Europe. We realize that for independent developers, here we get people from around the world, but we really want to make it accessible, and it's fantastic.
You've already told me you're not going to play favorites if I ask what they are, so moving forward, what would you like to see happen to the IndieCade next year? Was there something that you guys couldn't incorporate this year that you'd love to see show up in the future events?
Well, you know what? We embrace everything that's new. So, it's hard to predict what's going to be new next year, but every year our event is very unusual in that every new form of game making we always work to represent. So, no matter what it is, we will represent it and make sure you can play it.
Now, if you're a game developer looking to maybe get involved in IndieCade next year, someone who just wants to know more about it, what's the best place to find out more information about IndieCade as a whole?
Oh, to find out more about IndieCade, definitely our social media channels are very active, our Twitter and our Facebook and Tumblr. But go to our website at IndieCade.com and sign up for our newsletter. We don't spam anybody. We just tell you kind of what's happening. And our submissions will open again in February. And we accept games of all kinds, works in progress, and we have lots of activities for people who have works in progress to do play testing, get feedback, and you even get free admission.
Awesome. Any last words you want to say about IndieCade before we close it out?
I want to thank you for coming and attending, and IndieCade is a very unique event, and thank you for sharing what we do with people, because the core of what we're trying to do is show that anyone can make games. Everybody does make games. There are amazing games out there for everybody to play, and please, go and have fun.
Oh no, we've had so much fun being here. It's been the mix of I didn't expect that to be here, and I'm super glad it is too. What is that? I need to know more. And as someone who works in what we do, it's fun being surprised and just kind of confused occasionally, where it's oh, I have no clue what this is. That is awesome. When you can have rooms of I have no clue what this is, that's even better. Just the creativity on display here, just the variety of things you can see. It's wonderfully fantastic. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
So that's it for this year's IndieCade 2016, located at USC in California. So if this is your first kind of official Unplugged you guys have done, what was your favorite thing you guys saw while we were here?
I'd have to say I got to play a nice little social mobile game, Who Lurks. It was definitely my favorite as far as a multiplayer game. Single player game, Perception, #1.
And you?
I'm going to have to concur with him. The Who Lurks social mobile game was really awesome, really fun. And then other than that, trying the VR experience, even though the specific game I was playing wasn't the greatest, the whole experience and the immersion was really exciting.
For better or worse, a bunch of the stuff we saw here is going to be a coming soon to the channel probably, because I know I want to shoot the Who Lurks. We saw a couple other games that I definitely want to do something with, the amount of stuff we saw that we can't do anything with yet or couldn't get film of, because it's it's one guy and we've worked on this game for 6 months and we have no press package for it yet. There's some damn impressive stuff here. But yeah, as always, for Something Wicked Studios, if you enjoy this, check out our other content. We do unplugs whenever we have a chance to. They're kind of like this. Sometimes they're wacky or sometimes they're less wacky. Maybe these two will be showing up in more of them from now on. Who knows? Scheduling is fun. But yeah, hope you enjoyed. IndieCade, kind of awesome. Check it out next year.
Thank you, guys.
Peace.
Later.
Something Wicked Studios.
Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure you give us a thumbs up down below, you share us with all your friends, and you subscribe to the channel. If you're looking for more videos right now, we've got a whole bunch of ones all over the channel you can get to by the links below. If you hit the random button, I promise to send you to a good one. You know you want to. Press it. Press it.